can ask for than turn 1 Sentry. I would like to be on the play, I guess. No 1-drop for them. Sounds great for us. The Swift Striking Rooter actually plays really good defense until my opponent plays Righteous Outlaw on 2 here. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Alright, Animus into Animus is hopefully going to be good. His hand would have been much better on the play than the draw. Like, if we were on the play this game, we'd have gotten to have this before this got to attack, and it never would have gotten Diligence without a piece of removal. Holy shit, are you kidding me? Good lord. That's certainly a thing. That is certainly a thing that just happened to us. Okay. Please don't have a Creebait. Sure. Say hello to my little friend, Swift Strike. Let's play this Animus out. Not attacking, want 2 blockers for this 6-1. You have a Fireball here? Nope. Sweet. They have... The Seeing Red gives it must attack. They have to attack. Opponent did not have the option there to not attack. For reference, for people asking. For people acting like the opponent made a mistake there. They did not. Alright, try to kill you. Dead. Alright. The opponent's hero power for 4 charges deals 3 damage. Oh, they don't have to play Seeing Red. Yeah, that's fair. Definitely want these Creebaits. Darkheart's probably a little slow. Aspect is slow. Blitz could save our guys from a piece of removal, which is nice. Probably don't want both these altars. Board like this seems fine. This hand's very good. We got Sentry on 1 into Cremate on 2 potentially. And MC as well. Sign me up. I'm snapping off a block here. If they want to spend a Cremate here, that's a Cremate they're not spending on something else later. So 10 out of 10, just going to go this into 2nd Sentry into free MC. Sign me up. Whenever this attacks, we gain a permanent resource, so and a temporary. So next turn we can attack with this, then play Darkheart out. Now we can play Sentry into Darkheart here. The casual stuck on 2 resources, but drew 3 Sentry of Dulzan. Yep. for them. It does mean we don't have to sacrifice a sentry next turn, though, which is nice. This will Diligence and draw us a socketed card next turn, which will be good and cheap to play, hopefully. Mama Yeti's kind of scary here. I guess we have Strike plus Rebate here, right? Huh. I could actually play Animus and still play both of these because of MC's acceleration here. It's gonna feel a little bit bad if we get Lasgard next turn, but we still have an MC as a follow-up, and their board's not that impressive. Okay. We don't get Lasgard this turn. We're actually in a pretty decent spot. No blocks here, because we can play whatever this draws, and probably play the follow-up MC just to like make our board really large. That's really unfortunate. Like, really, really unfortunate. Huh. Am I just, like, attacking with this and going MC here? That seems kind of loose, but it's probably what we need to do, right? I suppose I could wait. We're just, like, just dead to Lasgar. We're probably dead to Lasgar either way, though, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna pass here and let this draw us another socketed card here. I think I'm gonna block like this. Gain 4, basically. That's a BuzzTech. That conveniently put 2 troops in here for the BuzzTech Innovator. That's great. Do I just go MC here and then champ power this? I guess we'll attack first. Appreciate a good dice deck, nerd. Good games, opponent. When this deck gets fired on all cylinders, it's real strong. I wouldn't fault someone for mulliganing this hand, but turn 1 Sentry into turn 2 Altar's hard to pass up even with the rest of them being shards. Like, hopefully opponent doesn't have too aggressive of a draw and we're going to be able to leverage this Altar or this Sentry into like unbeatable advantage. While we're waiting for our opponents to come back, I would just like to say good morning, afternoon, and good night to everyone wherever you're at in the world. Happy Friday. Hope everyone's ready for an exciting weekend. My name is Jeff Hogan, and we are playing some Hex TCG this afternoon. If you're new to the stream and you're enjoying the content, I encourage you to show a little support by using that follow button there on your screen. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps other people find my work. If you're really enjoying what you're seeing and you want to help me produce more awesome Hex and TCG content, there's a couple different ways you can do that. The first is by subscribing on Twitch for varying different amounts or becoming a patron on Patreon. You could also support my content by supporting my sponsor, who for Hex TCG is hexprimal.com. They would love to sell you some Hex TCG singles, and if you use code Jeff5 at checkout, you will save 5% on your order, also supporting my stuff here. Speaking of, 4 months already. Can I get an on-camera high five? With the 4-month resub, a third of a year. Welcome back. I appreciate the continued support, Reno. Revno? Rev? I was just gonna say Rev, because I'm bad at user names. Thank you for the support. Subscriptions just like that help me keep doing exactly what I'm able to do here day in and day out. Remember, I'm going to be streaming for another hour or so today, but after that, if you're looking for more wonderful Hex and TCG content, you can check out my YouTube channel, which is linked in the information section of this Twitch page. All of my streams get archived there. I put new Hex content up there somewhere between 5 and 7 days a week, often 7 days a week, so definitely check that out. In addition to the stream archives, I post original content there. I post new draft videos on Saturday and Sunday, as well as our Hex Hero constructed battle videos go up there on Mondays and Wednesdays, ideally. Oh, come on, opponent. I just want to play some Hex. Do you remember what deck you played that I talked about? They all blur together, but if I mentioned the deck specifically, it was probably pretty memorable. I enjoy me a sweet pile of Hex or Magic, or just cards in general. Unique combinations of good cards are fantastic. That you can get a buy in drafts, right? God, streaming drafts must have been miserable under the old system. Actually, I know it was miserable under the old system because I streamed a couple of drafts before the first CCS, before Gauntlets existed. Yeah, that was a Baltimore Open, right? It was Baltimore or Atlanta. I can't remember. It was definitely one of those two. Yep. Yeah, I do remember that one. Random single-player streams with some Hex in between, right? I always confuse the Baltimore and Atlanta convention stuff. Like, they think they're similar from the inside. I could also just be completely making that up. I spent a lot of time traveling to play Magic the last 2 years, and a lot of the convention centers blur together. The only really distinct cities in my mind are Indianapolis and Columbus. Apologies for the delay here while we wait for our opponent to time out. Remember, if you're not going to be in the queue, you should cancel out. That being said, I do prefer that Hex auto puts me into the queue as opposed to making me hit join match in 30 seconds like Magic Online does, because that's also annoying to do. I definitely miss more games that way. When you're like doing other things, you're like, oh no, my match popped and I didn't get over there and click it fast enough. Oh, I have a new Hex Heroes logo. I should try that and see how it looks. this it? That's the wrong color. Is this the white one? I don't know, this one's gonna look on stream. This is one we're gonna use for like play mats and some other stuff that's flatter. I don't know how it's gonna look over the game board, but that doesn't look too terrible. I don't know if I like that better or worse than the other one. You got free wids, you're welcome, right? Nice. Daughter's really good. I mean, that Mono Diamond aggro deck that we've been playing is pretty great. Blood Artist versus Zulaport Cutthroat, thoughts. I think Blood Artist is almost strictly better, right? Like the only difference there is like it's like 1 point of power versus like triggering on your opponent's creatures, right? Target player in Zulaport. Thank you for the donation, by the way. Versus Zulaport Cutthroat is... Yeah, I think in Modern, on average, I like just Blood Artist is almost strictly better. A lot of the time, Blood Artist allows you to create board states where, like, your opponent can't afford to even attack, and, like, because, like, they're gonna be enough troops that die on both sides of the table that, like, the attack's just not profitable for them, so they get pushed into this really awkward defensive position until they're able to answer your Blood Artist. And I think, like, the upsides of creating, like, unwinnable combat steps for you is much better than the 1 point of power. That being said, any deck built around Blood Artist in Modern probably wouldn't mind playing both. Blood Artist gets stopped by Leyline. That's cute. That is a difference, right? Yeah, Zulaport Cutthroat is each opponent. Blood Artist is target opponent. If Leyline is worth a consideration, that probably puts Zulaport Cutthroat over the top. But I don't think Leyline's particularly popular in Modern, right? Like on average, I don't think Leyline sees that much play. I could be wrong. I've been keeping up on Modern a little bit more than I was recently because I've been playing a bunch more, but I don't think I've seen that many Leylines. Yeah, I think if you're expecting Leylines in your local format, then you almost certainly want the Zulaport Cutthroats. But I think without Leyline as a consideration, I'd probably favor Blood Artist on average. For any other Magic players in the audience that play Legacy, I had an article go up on Legacy today talking about some updates to decks I'm playing post top banning. I don't really like Living End as a deck. That being said, it is a deck that benefited from some of the rule changes, so... Okay, so to be fair, this isn't that much different than Magic Online. Like, in Magic Online, they just get a straight 10 minutes. They don't get a game loss. In Magic Online, you can make your opponent wait, like, 9.5 minutes, and they don't even get a game loss, which is real annoying. That opening hand was so good. All right, let's get a match. Let's get a match that's actually a match. The good news is with that free win, if we win this next one, we get to pop into platinum here. I'd love to pippity pop into platinum. Pippity pop, the fun don't stop. Your next show's coming up, I promise. Let's go first. So, Uzu, and this is one of the reasons why the Uzu champion is pretty good, right? Like, this is likely Empress, or it could be one of the blood control decks. This hand is very good against the blood control decks, so I'm keeping it. It's medium against Empress. We do have a Pyre Strike to kill the first Empress at least. Looking like one of the control decks. Sweet. Altar is one of our best cards against these blood decks because it says the first socketed card we play each turn, we draw a card, and it can also generate a socketed card itself. So this is going to let us generate a lot of card advantage over the course of a game. This, in fact, these blood matchups in like the Diamond Sapphire control deck are the reason why we have these altars in the reserves. Now, if I move the deck list down too much, I have to adjust it more often because then the longer deck list I have to slide back up. I don't think covering the champion name and their username is a big deal. If we get Hero Fall in here, that's going to suck. Okay, they didn't play Hero Fall, which means I'm just going to jam this rune here right away in case they have a Hero Fall and they want to save it for an Animus here. Just like get this out of the way right away here. Sweet, yes. So we were in fact able to punish our opponent's sequencing there by running the Runer out right away. Just Hero Fall on your turn, people. Don't get cute. Just Hero Fall on your turn. So now they spent a removal spell killing our thing that drew a card with this Altar of Nulzan, which is fantastic for us. Exarch of the Egg's like a little bit annoying, but it actually doesn't matter that much for us. This says Swift Strike, which is great. I'm going to play this Animus out here, which draws us a card. Sign me up. This will make this a 3/3. Strangle, sure. We generated an Scapegoat. That's great. I'm going to play the Sentry out for the turn and pass. Kodo the Mage with the brand new subscription. Thank you for that. I do appreciate it. Remember, you'll need to refresh your page and then hit send to send the sub message off so that way everyone gets the pretty notification on screen there. Thank you for the support. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I think I'm just going to Pyre Strike this and then play this Pesky Pippet and draw a card. Attack here for 4. Getting even 1 trigger. This Animus says whenever we play a socketed card, our socketed cards in all zones get +1/+1 permanently. So even, man, if they don't have a Strangle for this turn, they're going to be pretty dead. They made us discard a card at random. Okay, sure. Thanks, Kodo. I really appreciate it. I'm glad people get use out of the YouTube videos. There's a reason I throw them up there. I'm glad people enjoy them. I'm gonna go ahead and play MC Etcher here. So I have a couple different lines here. I mean, probably just try and kill them, right? So this is 10. Yeah, we can actually... No, I can only do 17, right? This is 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I could do 18 damage this turn. Oh, the escape goat's 19, right? Ha! Yeah, let's try and kill him. Oh, and this makes all my things bigger. I forgot about that. Yeah, they should be super dead here. Everything just got real big real fast. Alright, so we're going to bring in the Altars of Nulzan. Blitz is kind of medium minus in this matchup. Aspect actually isn't very good, even though it was okay there. I think Riposte is pretty reasonable. We can grab their pieces of removal and send them back at him. Is that all I want to do? Yeah, I think that's all I want to do. I definitely want the Pyre Strike still so we can kill Bride of the Damned and stuff like that. I think I'm just going to submit like this. There's just no boarding around Hero Fall. So, I think all of our 4-ofs are powerful enough that I don't want to trim them. Like, Animus is good enough that I feel like if I play and activate Animus in a game, I'm such a strong favorite to end up winning that game that it's worth just having all 4 of them in my deck. Nemesis! With the 8-month resubscription. Means I've been doing this for like 2 years. Well, I'm happy to have your support here. 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. I do appreciate it. Alright, so we get our Pyre Strike out of our hand, that's fair. I guess this also takes Altar, right? It just takes a non-resource stun troop, so that seems like a good card to bring in if you can get it early and try and tag my Altar. Man, what a professional we are today. Yeah. I am just gonna play the Runeer out here. Just get aggressive as quickly as possible. This Runeer ends games hard and fast. And like, the Swift Strike double damage on defense is so good. That's rude. Oh, it's still a socketed card. So that's good. That means Animus will still power it up. Princess, sure. Riposte that we actually can't play yet. I think I'm actually gonna... That's really awkward against this, actually. I'm gonna wait a turn to play the Animus out, because I don't want it to just die. I mentioned getting even one trigger being really powerful, so next turn, we can play Animus and then play Blamsmith. We have a 25% chance of this Vampire Princess making us sad. Ding. So she looks at a random card in her hand, and if she looks at an action, she takes it away from us. And then we'll play this, which will make all of our socketed cards at all zones +1/+1. And they had the Hero Fall there, so we waited a turn to play it, but we got a trigger out of it. The thing that's a little awkward here now is that our opponent's going to be 50% to take an action out of our hand with this Princess. Maybe the fact that they have Princess in their deck means I don't want these Riposte in post reserves just because of like the liability that it represents. Bride of the Damned, gross. Their last card's a piece of 2-cost removal. We're going to be in a lot of trouble. Interesting. Yep. 50% chance to be real sad here. Yep, my opponent took my Valor and made it into a Vampire Kiss for themselves. Alright, yeah, Darkheart's a pretty good hit. It blocks Vampire Princess, and it makes him sacrifice something every turn. Oh, it does revert it into a Runear, doesn't it? Well, the good news is, they if they have a removal spell for this, we're probably just gonna concede. I don't think we could win at that point. Yeah, I'm not gonna show them how many Dark Hearts are in our deck. Yeah, I'm gonna cut these Riposts. I'm gonna just bring 2 Blitzes back in. It's like fine at playing our own Strangle on some of our troops. Love to go first. This hand's not amazing, but I think it's fine. It's like there might be merit to just like mulliganing to a hand with Altar in this matchup, honestly. He needs to take the Blitz out of our hand. It's unfortunate. Maybe the fact that Withering Gaze is in their deck is reason to have, like, not made those blitzes, but, like, board them into something else. It's like a non-target for Withering Gaze. It's like, on a scale of 1 to dead, this is almost certainly dead, but we'll see how it goes. Wait. What? Kinda confused. Okay, I'm gonna play the Sparkle Cap and Valor this and attack, but I have no idea why there's a Chimera bot in their deck. Oh, God, super punished here. Just like drew a Pyre Strike and they had the stupid Withering Gaze that they found. The good news is our MC's gonna Diligence. So sign me up for that, I suppose. I'm gonna attack with both of these so we can play a Darkheart post-combat. Legion, I don't think I've seen that one. Alright, and the Darkheart's gonna be enough to put the game away. We're gonna play one more match before we call it a day here. Do you want some more pretzels, Declan? Want some pretzels? Look at that, we got our Platinum Cloudbounder sleeve, sign me up. Tier 2 at best. I don't think it's consistent enough to be better than that. It's doing powerful things, and when it's firing on all cylinders, it's amazing, but like, there's a lot of games where just like, it's just gonna flounder and die, I think. The question here becomes, do I want to play the Ultra on 2 or do I want to play the Runear on 2? I think I want to play the Ultra on 2 because they could very easily have a Cremate here. I want to make sure I draw a card with this since it's my only piece of action in my hand. Wicked Web Spawn, sure. Into a badger. Badger, badger, it's a badger. It's a very funny badger. Badger, badger, farmer, badger, 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 duck. That's not how the song goes. It's supposed to be llamas, but we can sing badgers today. This card's really good at blocking since it has Swift Strike and double damage. So they pretty much need to have Cremate here. Our deck's a little bit soft to Lasgar's Vengeance, but we were on the play here, so we might just be able to race it. That being said, they don't really have good attacks here. If they have a Cremate, they could. Their Blamsmith is Swift Strike. Interesting. They get to attack with 3 things here, so their Lasgars now cost 3. Oh, I missed I took 1 extra point of damage. If we lose this by being 1 short, it's definitely my fault. Definitely my fault. Now the question is, do I want to Champ Power and shove this through? I don't think I do. I think I want to wait here because this Blitz can let me save this Runir Hierophant from a Lasgar's Vengeance, which is one of the reasons why I love this card. Yep. If they have a second Rust Bucket here, we're going to be in trouble. So they can cast Lasgars. Save our 1 guy that we can save. We're probably still dead here. Sparkle Cap. I think I want to just play this out in case we draw another card we can play. Sweet. Just like that. Let's do that. And this one's not going to draw us a card, but it does at least hop in front of stuff. Valor's this. Am I just like attacking this and eating one of their things, or do I Champ Power it and hit for 16 here? I think I just attack, because next turn, if we hit like a Blitz or an Aspect of the Squirrel, we can push more damage through. He will save us. If they have a second Lasgar's Vengeance, we're not beating that. But if they don't have a second Lasgar's Vengeance, we could be in a reasonable spot to stabilize this game here. Wow, that's bold. So they must have Lasgars and are killing us, right? This can't block anyway, so leaving it back doesn't play around anything because of the Rust Bucket Distractor. Crusader, sure. Their other Lasgars would cost 2, so they could still play it. Do you have it? Am I dead? What? Oh, alright. Block, I guess. Are you dead? I feel like you're dead. So they're at 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23. This feels like they... if we draw a Blitz, they're definitely dead. Another Runir. Okay, so we play that. We do this. It generated a Dark Heart. That's gross. Yeah, so most of their board's gonna die here. We're gonna Valor this, and then we're gonna Champ Power it, and crack for 20. So they have to put 6 defense in front of this. Say hello to my little friend! He's not very little. He's very large, in fact. The old 10 power worth of double damage swift striking hotness here. Yep, they're gonna go to 1 here. Should you put the Blamsmith too? Yeah, probably. Darkheart's great in this matchup, so we're gonna bring in another one of these. Skyguard. I want the other gem to be in here. Probably draw an attack. I'm gonna make Rift Warp Badger be +1 in Crush. I'm gonna make Buzztech Innovator be +1 in Crush. Pyro Strike's fine here. Blitz is fine here. Aspect of the Squirrel's not great. That's the only swap I make. I can see Cremate being okay. I don't know if Cremate's actually good enough. I think I want to just stay the course like this. I can see maybe Cremate's better than some Animus, but Animus just lets us get, like, really out of control really quickly. But, like, if we're readying with Animus, we're probably winning the game anyways. I'm gonna bring in the set of Cremates on the draw and see how this feels. I think Darkheart's better than Animus in this matchup on average. That could be incorrect, though, because Darkheart just dies to Lasgard's Vengeance. So, like, if you look back on that, like, I really hate bringing in Riposte in these Lasgard's Beers where we're both just, like, all we're doing is tapping out every turn. Like, if you watch that game, I don't think I had a single turn where I didn't just, like, use all my resources. And I think I'm gonna go to 5 here, especially with 4 Cremates in my deck. Like, this hand just really doesn't do anything. It also doesn't do much, but it's, so the 6 was better than this, but I think we're supposed to go to 5. They're looking for a Cremate or a Sentry or an MC. It's like something to do before turn 3. These are a bunch of artifacts, right? Just like a bunch of like Squidbilly looking things here. No Crusader is great for us. Well, we can play MC. Our 6 and our 7 suddenly seeming okay. Opponent kept a medium minus hand, it looks like. They could just, like, have a couple Lasgards in hand, though, and then that would be bad for us. Perhaps I mulliganed a little bit too aggressively this game. At any rate, we're going to get a 3rd game after we lose this one. It says, you're asking the hard-hitting questions here. Always strawberry on the jelly, and always, like, 2-to-1 in favor of peanut butter. And see, Christy likes to jam the jam. Like, I'm not into the, like, choking it all up on jam. Gruesome deed, rude. Can I get a wild threshold up in here? I'm gonna put 2 of these Animuses back in on the play. Oh, and you know what? This has a major socket in it. I can put Cultivation and Conjuration in here. Yeah, I think let's do this. Man, peanut butter jelly and a slice of American cheese, that was one of my favorite sandwiches growing up. It's definitely a sense of taste that I've grown out of, but definitely ate that a lot as a child. This hand's like medium minus. I feel like I could do better at 6. This hand is not much better. I mean, like, honey and jelly and jam, like, they're all similar, right? They're just, like, this sugar supplement to your sandwich. You're a grape man. I don't know that grape is necessarily bad, but I would definitely argue it's strictly worse than strawberry. So not a negative aspect, but just not as good. Cheese with peanut butter, it's great. Or it was great. I've grown up. Blackberry. And getting exotic with our jams over here. Boysenberry, how fancy. Gemborn Prowler, that's rude, opponent. That's really rude. And that's the downside to playing a deck like this. Like, your opponents just get to load up on cards like Gemborn Prowlers. It's possible I should have led on the altar. I kind of wanted to get my acceleration going, but very possible I should have led on the altar last turn. Crusader on 3 is going to be tough to beat without a board. Blackberry jalapeno. Stop! You're making that one up, right? When it rains, it pours. Yeah, I think our mistake this game was the way I sequenced. I should have started on altar, I think, so we could have just like drawn. Like, they have so many cremates and gem boards and stuff post reserves that like I should just expect the first MC to die, so I should have tried to get maximum value out of it. You have a Rust Bucket Distractor here, or cremate, it's gonna be pretty bad. Yep. Getting hit for 6 here. Yep. Bump, bump. Alright. Game opponent. Let's try one more before we call it a day. That one was pretty quick. Yeah, two modes. I think we can solidly agree on that one. Crunchy peanut butter. That's awkward. Crunchy peanut butter is awkward. Ugh. Another slag pot deck. It seems okay. It's a little bit being on the draw against what's likely Redlings is kind of scary. Nutella. I mean, Nutella, shouldn't you just be, like, eating candy at that point? Like, jelly at least is, like, borderline lunch food still. Like, once you add Nutella into the mix, I feel like you might as well just be, like, eating a candy bar. Just, like, open up a Reese's and call it a day. Like, there's nothing wrong with Reese's. I'm just saying, like, you've kind of crossed out of, like, sandwich, this is lunch material at that point. Mr. Resource? Mr. Resource? God, that's good for us. Alright. Ooh. So I'm going to play the MC here, and the reason why I'm playing the MC as opposed to the Runeer is because we have this Blitz. Although I guess they don't have... No, I'm dumb. I should have just played the Runeer because they didn't have a Ruby Threshold. So they couldn't cremate this anyways. Check it, see? Wreck it, see? And now, they can sacrifice the other Emperor's Lackey to trade 2 for 2 here, but I'm okay with that, I think. This lets this start triggering for Diligence next turn. Yep, so they were in the tank there on whether or not which one they wanted to trade, and they do want to trade here, so that's fine with me. This altar is just like, hopefully gonna help us power through this flood. Man, I've been very fortunate. I've never had a food allergy before. That sounds awful. Especially, like, they're, like, varying degrees of those, too, right? Like, some food allergies are, like, you die just coming near it, and other ones you actually have to ingest it. And both my kids so far have been lucky enough to not. Hitting the ruby threshold is scary. It means they can, well, they can actually do a lot of damage, right? They can cremate with Scrounge here, if they have it, and kill this and, like, put some more stuff out here. Yep, so kinda sad I burned the Blitz when I did now. The big hit. Just like dead to second Ruby Lasgar's Vengeance. Darkheart. Animus. So that punished us a little bit. If we would have played MC, we would have been able to play the Runeer as a follow-up here, which does feel a little bit bad. They have Rust Bucket Distractor, we're pretty dead here. I guess this is... Yeah, I probably should have played the MC and hoped to draw this. Oh, that's fine. They just got the Lasgars and we're dead. Man, the Redlings deck is so good. They missed their second resource on 3, or their third resource on 3. Scrounge that, yep. Can't be blocked, that's pretty good. And a Rust Bucket, yep, just super dead. Woof. Yeah, I think I'm doing a board similar to how we did last time. If you're looking for a good ladder deck, Redlings is definitely that. Redlings doing Redling things, yep. It's basically the TLDR. Oh, yep, this needs crushing it. Blood Diamond. I'm not really a fan of the Blood Diamond socket deck. I feel like it's just not doing anything inherently powerful outside of the socket card, so like you'd rather play different supporting cards. I think the Blood Wild Sockets deck or the Ruby Wild are both much better. Yeah, I mean, this is a hand. Look at the results from the Platinum Plunder. Biz made top 8 with, or top 4 with a Blood Wild Sockets deck. I'm just gonna go ahead and attack with this MC just to like use it as a ramp spell here. It lets us go Altar into Blamsmith here, which then gives us 2 shots so we can play this Dark card on turn 4 next turn. What you got, what you got, what you got, opponent? Yep, Crusader. No champ power is interesting. Am I jumping here? No, that's gotta be wrong. Okay, well, let's go Sentry into Darkheart here. Yep, having an aggressive deck with a strong curve is great. What you got? What you got? What you got, opponent? Yeah, Sentry being non-socketed is a touch awkward. You're not wrong. That being said, I get to, like, chump trade my Dark Heart for their Underworld Crusader here, which feels fine. And I'm like, next turn. I should have attacked with this probably, right? Yeah, I probably should have attacked with that. Altar being not socketed isn't as big of a deal because, like, if you had Altar Art when you played Dark Heart, that means your Altar drew at least one card, so, like, if it replaced itself and then died, like, that's fine. I imagine it's got to be, like, some kind of crazy Emrakul, like, card at some point, right? Like, just, like, this overarching, like, god-type character. Watch us get Lasgard Vengeance this turn and just, like, weep ourselves silently to sleep. I mean, like, maybe they'll go, like, oh, this is, like, 10 out of 10 we're triggering Assault here for Lasgard's Vengeance, right? This is... Yep. Man, that's unfortunate. I really liked my board. I really liked all these cards we had in play, too. Okay. I mean, like, they could do a lore pivot to, like, WotC did with Magic, right? And, like, there could be some kind of, like, thing where, like, they fall down, like the Planeswalkers did, and then all of a sudden we have primal cards. Like, maybe there's some kind of, like, new card type they could introduce off of that at some point. Just, you know, please don't let them be like Planeswalkers, because Planeswalkers suck. Oh, that's a good call, Burgle. I should have Valored it. You're right. I think I'm going to start by attacking with this to see what we draw. I think I want these bees on defense this turn anyways. Sentry's a fucking great hit. I'm just never beating a second Lasgar, so not playing around it. We would, like, talk about Valoring one of our things this turn to play around to Lasgars, but, like, we're just going to lose to it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Sure. So we'll sacrifice our sentry next turn. That's a 5/5, okay. That could potentially be the game. Do that there. Put this here. I probably should have waited to figure out if this was lethal, but I'm just gonna attack and just hope it is. They definitely have blocks that allow this to be lethal. This is 10, 16. Both of these have crush. I have a blitz here. They probably want to put this here, and then I put this here and this here. Then they're going to 2. They could kill me on the crackback, theoretically, I guess, if they have Lasgars that are cheap enough, but otherwise we're in a decent spot. They could easily block in a way that, like, has them going to 4, though, and then this blitz destroys them. Bonus got to think here, right? Like, yep, sweet. No, I don't want to mobilize it. Oh, sure, we'll mobilize that. Target that one. Ah! Blitzed! Hey, what are we doing on the draw? Same thing? I feel like we're doing mostly the same thing. I'm gonna cut an altar. Bring in a Crebate. I love playing Blitz and Constructed. That might be my favorite thing I love about this deck. Playing Combat Tricks and Constructed is so good. It's so good. Because we knew that it wouldn't. Is this a mulligan? This feels like it's a mulligan. I don't know. It's got a cremate on the draw. Alright, fine. Talk me into it. We got all of our thresholds. Hopefully we draw a 2 or a 3 drop at our first 3 draws. Do something before this Badger. Darkheart's a powerful card. Play something I can cremate, please. Not a 4/4. Not a 4/4. Don't do it. Have a heart. Don't play a 4/4. Alright. That's actually a fantastic draw because it means we can play Badger next turn and the Darkheart the following turn. I'm just going to cremate this to keep our life total high and keep their Dreadling count down from this. Yeah, so it's 6 hit at the end of February, right? Yeah, the end of February because the beginning of March was the CCS and it was legal for that. They don't have a second Ruby right now, which is good for us. Rush Bucket Destructor at 2 means their hand's probably a little bit medium, or it could just be like all powerful 3s. Yeah, really glad we killed the Dwarf since they have a Cabalist now. This gives them a charge every time one of their troops dies, so they'd be able to make like 2 here. That's really aggressive. Maybe they need to scrounge 2. And so this Badger is actually going to generate us 2 troops because it generates a socketed card when it comes into play, and then I've got the gem in it that generates a random troop as well. So Fire Soul and a Scrap Tooth Crackler. Sure, sign me up. Yeah, we should start seeing Murmurings of set 7 soon, right? I really hope that set 7 releases in time for the July CCS. That would be my hope as a player. Block here. I get to use their champion power again next turn, which kind of sucks. Pretty sure we're obligated to play this Darkheart here. I guess I could play the... no, because this is just going to constantly... I guess the Blackfire Sorcerer this generates could potentially have Swift Strike. Alternatively, I could play the Scraptooth Dasher and then block this to something and then blitz with the Sentry and block this. I kind of like that line, actually. I suppose I could also just Pyre Strike this and then hold up the blitz. Yeah, I think I like that, actually. I'm just going to hold up the Pyre Strike and the blitz. Peace. I'm gonna go ahead and block this here, and then we can blitz this, so we kill their thing. This Darkheart means their thing's gonna die here, which is good for us. Depends on what their follow-up is here. We might have stabilized. Okay. They can champ power and hit us for 1. And then Runir, this is bad against Cremate, but fine against everything else. We fade a couple of bullets here. We could very easily kill them with this Runir pretty quickly. Please attack me. I wonder if this is going to be the Swift Strike double damage Shame Concede. Or if they drew a Lasgarth, they would have activated their champ power, right? So So this is probably just didn't realize how Swift Strike double damage worked. They're literally just dead next turn, so. Alright, sweet. Picked one off of the Dreadlings deck. Redlings, Dreadlings, scary, scary. Nope. You can very much sell Magic Online cards for cash. And tickets, too, actually. Which is strange, right? I'm surprised that their currency doesn't get flagged. Alright, sweet. At any rate, I'm going to sign off for the day. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Let's see if there's anyone else streaming that we can give a host to. Alright, let's give show a host, and I will catch y'all around later. Thanks, everyone, for watching.